you back to the 100 Days of Zentangle Project 2021. Thank you all so much for being with me each day for the last 90 days. Can you even imagine 3 complete months full of tangles? And I think that's just great. Let me turn my phone down really quickly before I get the commercial noise. Here we are. All right. So we are working on a gray tile today. And I'm going to be using a 0-1 for most of my drawing, but I'm going to be adding some line weight here and there. So I'm going to use my PN for that. And I'm also going to use my regular pencil and my chalk pencil in indigo blue for this shading stuff here. Okay. As well as my charcoal pencil, you know. Now, the pattern we're doing today is called ACROSSTICK, and it is by Ed Gucker. He is a CZT from way back, and this is a cool pattern, but I will tell you that it starts by drawing these 4 boxes, and this is a difficult thing. The difficult part of this pattern is the very first step, and that is getting these boxes to line up. Now, if you don't care about that and you just want to freehand it, that's going to work fine. And some of you probably can do that really well. I cannot. So I'm going to teach you guys sort of, I'm not going to call it a cheat. I'm going to call it a hack. Oh, see, look at me going. And so this is going to be a little easier for us, okay? So I'm going to start with my graphite pencil. Hopefully you guys are going to be able to see it okay. All right. So I'm going to start by making as squared of a border as I possibly can. And you guys in chat, let me know if I get blurry, okay? It doesn't have to be perfect, and I haven't tried this wonky, and it may work just fine. So you guys do whatever you want. So the thing that I'm going to do that's really going to help me with this, making it sort of, it's bowing to my OCD is what it is I'm going to draw a square grid in here on the diagonal. Yes, it's one of those diamond square grids, okay? So I'm going to start in the middle, and I'm going to make an X, diagonal lines from corner to corner, and I'm going to try to make them as nice as I can, okay? They're not going to be perfect, but try. Hi, Chara, Ola, and Patty, and Vicky, and Lisa, and Nancy, and Pepper, hi, and Carlita and Lynn. We've got a bunch of you guys. All right. Okay, so after I have penciled my X in, then I'm going to draw some more diagonal lines on each side so that I've got a squared off grid. Okay, so I'm going to look at this line first, and I'm going to make another line that matches the diagonal, the angle of it. So like this, okay? And do the same thing here. And now I'm going to turn my tile, and I'm going to do the same thing going back the other way, making my squares. And again, they don't have to be perfect, but get them perfect, okay? No pressure. No pressure. Okay, this needs to be here. All right, close enough. Okay, this is all we need for this. So now I'm going to take my 0-1, all right? And we are going to tackle these squares. Now, the squares are going to go where these diagonal lines cross, okay? So right in here. So we're going to put a square here, 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 and here, all right? So let's see how we can do this. The way I'm going to handle this is I'm going to aura my outer line at the width that I want the boxes away. So, like this. And I'm going to go from my penciled line to my penciled line, and that's going to be the edge of my square. All right. And so I'm going to hop over here on the other side of this square, and I'm going to continue. Yes, that's a diamond square, or a square diamond, as we like to say. And I'm going to once again go from line to line. All right. So now I'm going to turn my tile around, and I'm going to do the same thing on this end over here. Let me make sure I've got these. Okay. I guess that's not the best angle for you guys to see, is it? Let's try this. Right here. And then to the other side of this diamond shape here. Okay, now I'm going to turn my tile and do the same thing going the other direction, right? So I'm going to go from where my line left off, and I'm going to travel over to the next penciled line. Okay. Now these still are not going to be perfect. Oops. That one's definitely not going to be perfect. It's going to be all right though. Okay. This isn't a foolproof method. I'm just saying. Oh my goodness, and we're live, so I can't go and take it out and do it over again, can I? I'm screwed. All right. I'm going to aura those anyway, so I think I'm going to be okay. So now we've got half of our squares drawn in, and all we've got to do is do the other two sides, right? So that's not too hard. If you can draw straight, it's not too hard. If not, yeah, maybe I should do this one first. Still, what happened to this line over here? Well, we're just going to have to work it into the design, aren't we? Again, I'm not sure why we drew these penciled lines. Because I'm OCD and I needed to, I guess. Yeah, this was less than perfect. Good idea, Cindy, but not so good in the execution. Perhaps if I had used a straight edge, it would have been better. So I'm not freaking out too much about this. Yes, well, I am sharing my oopsies this time. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. This box is larger than this box, or this part, let's call it a square, is larger than this one. Okay, so I was going to draw an internal aura in these anyway, so I'm going to draw an aura outside of this and sort of even these up. Whoops. Yep. It's going to be one of those days, I can tell. Maybe I need to bloody breathe, right? That's too bad. All right, so I'm going to draw an internal aura here. This is not in the step out, the internal aura. I am using my opportunity for positive, hopefully, I don't know. All right. Well, now we have that aura in there. That is not in the step out. So here we are. Wait, is it in the step out? Maybe it is in the step out. It is in the step out. We just did it out of order. Okay. So now the last step, I'm just going to go ahead and finish. I am not going to follow that line. That has gotten me into so much trouble today. That line and I are done. So, yeah. Personal note. Sometimes it doesn't work right, and it's still going to be fine. I might have to do something fun and wonky with that, just because. Okay, so you're going to have something similar to this. Probably not as lovely as mine, but something similar, right? All right. Now, the next step, we're going to draw in these lines, these X lines here, from corner to corner. And we're going to take them out to the edge. And if they cross the other line, that's fine. Well, well, I know what Marilyn's thinking. What the well? I thought that earlier. I did. What the well? My new favorite curse word. I don't think that's the way Jody meant, but there you are. All right. What am I listening to, baby? What am I listening to? Oh, okay. All right. Mari says hi to everybody.
Hey, guys.
He is doing his child thing today. Carlito, you have not missed anything but a lot of oopses on my part. That should make everybody feel good, except for me. All right, so here I'm going to draw these X's inside these boxes, right? So from corner to corner, connect these diagonally. And of course, I have completely ignored my line in that one box. Everybody's saying hi to you, Mari. Let's see. Bonsoir, Mari. You have your French contingent here. Wow, Mari, you have got a ton. Hi from Angela and Carlito and Valerie and Christiana and Marilyn and Nancy and another Nancy and Carlita and Lynn, and yeah. Yes, Mari made you a moderator, Carlito. Betsy says hi, Mari. All right. Wow. You have got a lot of love in chat, buddy. Can you hear me at all?
Yeah, I heard you.
Okay. Well, act like you did. It's nice. They are showing you a lot of love in chat, and you're just sitting there saying nothing. All right. Now, I have made a large, huge mess, but that's okay. I'm going to make it work for me. Okay? I did. You're welcome. I found out what John's real name is. I knew he was too cool to be a man. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. We love our guys. We have some. Now, the last step, I've said that 4 times now, but this one really is the last step, is we're going to draw a diamond or square. Is Roseanne here? We're going to draw that midpoint between these. Let me show you what I mean. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pay attention to where my point is here. Now, in this case, I'm really not. I'm going to put it in the middle. But here is one point. Okay. Here is the other point. And now I need to put these together into a diamond shape. Okay. It doesn't have to be perfect, but some of my not perfect ones are really, really not perfect. So there you are. So we're going to do that on each side of this square. Now, since I've got this point here, I'm going to, let's see, here's my point here. Yeah. I'm going to try to match that. like this. And we're going to do this between each of these squares, okay? And we're going to pretend like we've got it on the outside row. Does that make sense? Oh, I know you're a girl. You're in shock about what? Oh, chat is distracting me again. Okay, so here's my midpoint. I'm going to put a tiny dot there. Here's this midpoint. And then I'm going to try to put my point and keep my angles the same as these. Sometimes you get it, sometimes not. And if these two don't match, I'm just going to do the best I can. All right. So this should be... And here's my midpoint. There. All right. Just on each side, find the midpoint where your lines cross in the middle. That's where you're going to start. And after you kind of get used to it, you'll get used to it. I'm really helpful today, aren't I? It's because I can't even open my eyes without making a mistake today. I've got so many opportunities. What a blessing. What a blessing. There's a UFO at Carlito's? What? As per usual, the live chat is a little bit crazy because we've got all the peeps in the house. Don't forget, we now have a Zenders Facebook group if you would like to join. You're going to be asked a few very pertinent questions. Why is it called Cindy's Zenders? Well, duh. Anybody who's a Zender is going to know the answer to that. And what else? We've already got 50 members in there, so come and join. And then I want you to post pictures of you and your art and your family and whatever you want to share with us. Pretty excited about putting faces and names together. I know some of you, Carlito, are face shy. But so was I, and I got over it. You know what? I'm old. I need to accept it, so I got over it. I'm not the prettiest thing in the world. I got over it. All right. This is ACROSSTICK. This is the basic tangle. Poorly executed in some spots, but I'm going to do some work on this and make it spectacular. Right? We got a long way with shading and some embellishing, right? So same thing. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to repeat this. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put, who recognizes this pattern that I put in here? Y'all should all know this. Anybody? Anybody? Do you know what pattern this is, guys? All right. Well, I'm not going to tell you then. All right. It's hemp, by the way. All right. I'm going to continue to divide these little squares, and I'm going to put 2 more divisions in up and down each way, right? Until I have this. Okay. Then to make hemp, all I do is I put a dot in the middle of each one of these. And then we make magic, right? You guys remember this? Then we connect each corner to the dot. Oh, now you start to see it, don't you? And if that confuses you, don't look at the hole. Just look at look at each triangle and connect each triangle corner to the middle. That's all there is to it. Everyone that can hold a pen and draw a straight line can do this. Everyone. And even if your lines aren't straight, right? As mine are frequently not, you still can do this. Doesn't have to be perfect. We're still going to get something really cool out of it. And voila, we have something lovely. All right, I'm going to do that in each one of these, and you can do something different in your squares. But that was the first thing that came to mind for me. So you could also do droop in here or fracas. Those both would work really well. You really do have enough room for those if you work carefully. Do I want to do something different? Yeah, I want to do the same. No, I want to do the same thing. Keep it simple, stupid. That's my mantra. Simba says hi to his new puppy pals. He's got a bunch of them now. We love all the puppy pictures that you guys are sharing in Facebook group. The group is called Cindy's Zenders. And of course, you have to spell my name right. I don't know if it'll come up if you just put Zenders in there or not. Would be an interesting experiment. I love this pattern. It is so easy and turns out so cool. Yeah, I like it. You know what else we could put in here is the pattern we did yesterday. Don't make me remember what we did yesterday. What was the name of what we did yesterday? Oh, Kaleida. That would be cool in here, actually. So if you guys want to try that, if you're not down with the hemp, you can certainly put Kaleida in here. That would actually be very cool, I think, with all the angles and everything going on in this. Wish I'd thought of that earlier. Got a wonky hemp over there. Yeah, guys, remember, we are not after perfection here. We are after some art practice and some zenfulness. Maybe I need to preach perfectionism again. We don't want that. We want relaxation. We want to work on trying to get some clean lines. And if we do, that's great. And if we don't, that's okay. You can see I'm not getting perfect lines at all. But it's going to be okay once we get the shading added and all of that good stuff. I have done a less than great job on this, but I'm still going to finish my tile and do the very best I can to make it something cool. We don't do perfect. We just love our tangling and we do what we do. All right, now in the step out, Ed has these diamonds inked in, and you can certainly do that. That's very dramatic. But what I liked was to, again, add that internal aura and then do some hatching. And so I think that's what I'm going to do. All right. Okay, internal auras. So what do you do when the shape you're aura-ing is wonky? You make your aura wonky. That's the answer. You don't try to correct your line mistakes with your aura. You repeat your mistakes with your aura, right? Because if you do what you want to do, which is try to let everybody know by your aura that you know you got it wrong. I know somebody thinks that because that's how I think. Then you're going to have a problem. So I'm going to make my auras be as funky as the internal parts or the external parts and just see what happens. Each of these diamond shapes or squares, Roseanne. You are just giggling like a loon right now, aren't you? I can tell. I can always tell when Roseanne's laughing, even if she's watching the replay. It's a gift and a curse for all my monk fans out there. Okay. Crystal shared in group this beautiful result from yesterday's pattern, which was Glida. And she said something about she didn't like it, but she was encouraged to finish, and she had a great result on there, a very striking result. I loved it. All right. Yeah, exactly. Whoops. John said, or Carlita said, that when she tries to fix something, it just gets worse, and that's what happens to me. Okay, now, the other thing I did in here was I made also more internal auras around these square lines or diamond lines or what the heck ever. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw these pretty narrow. And again, this is not in the step out. This is me embellishing. And I'm going to really try to do a neat job with this. I don't always get my wish on that, but we're going to do okay. I'm going to take our time and remind ourselves we're not in a hurry. I don't have Mari at the end of the bed bouncing today. course, he hasn't figured out there's something he wants yet. When he does, we'll hear from him. I just like the way these extra auras look. They sort of fill out that whole, you know what I mean. I just thought they were a good idea. When in doubt, aura. That's what I say. All right. Let me aura that. Now, what are we going to do about this? Well, I'm just going to aura it. Just a couple more. Okay, I think I got them all. Now, I'm going to switch to my PN, and I'm going to give myself a little help in the shading department. Which will be interesting. All right, so I am going to, as in this example, what I did was, I did a really dark shade on one side, okay? I did a lighter shade, a little bit lighter on the underneath side, or on an adjacent side, and then I left that off on two sides. Okay, now on the inside of these, we're going to be doing the opposite. We're actually doing the same thing, but it's going to look opposite. The sides in here, so I have an imaginary light source. Okay, it's over here, right? And so the shadow is over here. And inside the box, the shadow on the over here is still going to be on this side, on the right side, okay? And it's also, if the light source is here, it's going to be shading, it's going to be hitting more here and here. And so these opposite sides are going to be shaded on the inside of the box. Does that make sense? So we're shading outside the box, these two sides, and on the inside of the box, we'll be shading the opposite too. Does that hopefully not confuse everybody? Yeah. All right. So what I'm going to do... Hi, Jacqueline from the Netherlands. Where are you from in the Netherlands? So what I'm going to do is decide which side is up. It doesn't matter. For me, it's not going to matter. I'm going to do it this way. So this is going to be my upside. My light source is going to be right there where my dot is. Okay. All right. So now what I'm going to do with my PN is I'm going to put a little bit of line weight on this line, which is going to be on the side that I'm going to shade. Right? And all this is going to do is help me when my shading happens, right? Now, of course, I want to draw over them all, but I'm not going to because I know better. I just want to. I want to make them darker and better. And less dark and less better. All right. I think this little mistake is just going to be obscured with all the shading, so I'm not really worried about that. And that frequently happens if you don't panic if you've made a mistake. Wait until you've gotten to your shading point, and then you can panic, you know. But before then, it's premature. All right, so I just put a little extra line weight on two sides of this, two adjacent sides. Okay. All right, and so now on the insides, I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to do the opposite too. So I'm going to do this one. And this one. And you might think this is a small thing, but trust me, the small things add up. Now I'm just going to have to go with it on this since it's kind of messed up here. All right. Now, oh, I forgot this one, didn't I? Somebody was yelling at me. Well, getting a little excited here. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to my 01. So I'm considering the line weight for these little diamonds too, and I think I'm going to go ahead and hatch them first, and then I'll consider all of that here in a minute. That looks like a web. There is. There are several. Shoot me a picture of it, Angela. Okay, so I'm going to, next I need to decide which direction I'm going to hatch my lines. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to do each row a different direction. So I'm going to do this one up and down this way. Then when I get to this one, I'm going to go the other direction, okay? And since these aren't even, I'm just going to have to go up and down and hope for the best. There. And that adds such a nice texture to the whole thing. I love that. Okay, so I'm going to turn this now and go the other direction on this one. I think that's such a nice way to dress something up. All right, now I want to move to New Zealand in the summers. They're going into winter. We are getting hot here, and I want to be cool. All right, now where was I? Oh yeah, these on the outside. So this way. Yep. The whole opposite way thing is great as long as you don't get confused with which way you're going. Just saying. Need to keep my hand out here. And what about these guys? Well, that was sloppy. It's all right. Okay, and so these will go this way. I want to do some tidying up in my hemp sections. So I think I'm going to put a little inked dot in the middle of each one. Sort of clean up some of the line mess. Hemp, Cindy, you're supposed to be working on hemp. I'm not sure I helped there, but now we're committed. All right. Well, I'm pretty zenned out. I think they're having fun in chat. I'm just snoozing away up here. Don't know what happened on this one, but we don't care. It's going to be fine. All right. Forgot to put my stopper in today so this wouldn't click. It is much nicer. All right. Well, these are definitely bolder. I don't think they're any better. I'm sort of considering inking 1/2 of each of these to really make, maybe this half, to really make these stand out. And then I could still white the other half. I haven't quite decided if I want to go that far yet. But at the rate I'm going, I might. All right, so still not great, but okay. So I'm considering, oops, sorry. Cindy has zenned out, yeah. Lick the windows, people. Yes, Allison has a question. Yes, what up? What's my favorite tile to use? That's such a hard one. I'm not ignoring you. I love you. My favorite tile to use, probably the originals. They're very versatile. Oh, no, probably Renaissance. That's probably it. Okay. Because I like having the highlighting ability on those, and I can still add color if I want. Okay. So now, I'm thinking. Well, I'm thinking about decorating these frames in order to maybe distract a little bit from the mess I've got in some of them and to make them a little bit more interesting. But what I found when I was practicing this or testing some stuff out was that if I used like, this is droop, by the way. And this would be fracas if I had continued it all the way around. And this was yesterday's tangle. But I considered using orbs, which would be the easiest thing. I'm not sure what I want to do. Not sure. So I'm going to shade and just see what happens. All right, regular graphite pencil. Okay, so I'm going to turn this whichever way I need to keep track of my light source, which is this dot up here. And let's put some graphite down. All right, quit looking through the camera, Cindy. It'll just distract you. Now on this side, I'm going to use it really, really heavily, or at least for me, heavily. And I'm going to try not to put it over this dark line, but, you know, it's kind of difficult to avoid. This pencil isn't sharp enough. I think this is getting heavier and heavier. Okay, now I'm going to turn my tile and I'm going to go to this other side that's adjacent, and I'm going to shade more lightly down here. Okay. I'm not going to push as much. I'm just going to do a lighter gradient. I'm barely touching down, but I'm still using some. And when I go through here with my Tortillo, I'm going to start blending on the underneath side, or on this side that I'm doing now, and not on the heavy side, because my Tortillo will get so overloaded with graphite that I won't be able to control it anywhere else. Okay. So now, who's making meatloaf? They're talking about food in chat now. I've got to stop paying attention to that business. All right, so let me double check what my tortillon has on it. That'll be fine. All right. Now I'm going to start at the outer edge and pull that down just a little bit. Okay. Try to make it so there's no line. Just want to soften that edge just a little bit. Okay. And if you get too much down, you can always pick that up with an eraser. Okay. All right, so we've got a pretty light shade going on the underneath side, right? So now I'm going to blend out this dark side, and I'm really going to be careful to just keep all the graphite right here along this line. I again want to take that line out and do the blending, but I really want to keep all that dark right there on that line, okay? And right now I'm not trying to move that graphite, I'm just trying to push it into the tooth a little bit. Music? What? Huh? I wish we could play music. We need some, don't we? Because I got it going on in my head. I'm listening to classic rock in my head. Foreigner, you know, Kansas, Asia, Chicago, all the states. Just kidding. Just kidding. Just kidding. All right, now, so I've got that basic shading on. I'm still thinking about decorating those frames. I just haven't decided yet. So next, I think I want to, oh, I forgot to blend this. I've gotten a little bit much on that. Okay. All right, so next I think I want to darken every other shape here, every other section. And that's going to help us with that folded look. Metallica. Yeah, we could do some Metallica. I could listen to Metallica. Let's see. You don't have to do them the same in each box, but I'm going to. OCD and all. Nothing but the dead and I. Oh, now I'm singing Simon and Garfunkel. In my little town, I grew up believing God keeps his eye on the young. Lionel Richie. I do like Lionel Richie. All right. Let's see, where was I? Oh, yeah, over here. All right. I pledge allegiance to the world. Oh, I recall my little town coming home after school. Oh, meatloaf. Oh, I did think you were talking about food. You were talking about that meatloaf. That guy's nuts. Never been a fan of meatloaf. But I certainly know who he is. See, just like that, all those annoying lines are gone. Okay, not all of them, but most of them. All right, let's blend this. Trying not to make a mess, which, yeah, not gonna happen. We're gonna try anyway. Oh, I forgot one, didn't I? Which one of you was yelling? I know it was somebody. Actually, they weren't paying any attention to me. They're in there talking about classic rock. And I'm still singing Simon and Garfunkel in my head. And after it rains, there's a rainbow. And all of the colors of black. It's not that the colors are there, just imagine it. I'm stuck in the 60s, guys. Help me. Nothing but the same night. My little town. That's why I'm ignoring you guys, Angela. Angela said she gave up with her tile because she couldn't concentrate. She's too busy in chat. That's why I have stopped paying attention to chat for the most part, and I'm just drawing. Otherwise, it's just a video of a half of a tile sitting there unfinished with me talking in chat, and that's not very much fun, is it? Nothing but the dead and dying back in my little town. Somebody singing harmony with me? Come on. Nothing but the dead. Okay, I'll stop. Doris Day, Frank Sinatra, Bing Crosby, Nancy Gregg says. Of the Metallica version of The Sound of Silence, I have not. Maybe I need to go look that up. I like the Simon and Garfunkel one. Even Mari knows that one. He was watching somebody on YouTube that was using the very first few bars of that hello darkness my old friend for something bad happening, you know, so something bad would happen and they'd play hello darkness my old friend. So I finally had to play the whole song for him, and now he knows who they are. I'm just darkening a little bit more right around my line. And I'm about to add my pastel pencil. And then nothing but the dead and dying. Okay, I'll stop. I got it in my head and it's coming out my mouth. It's just the way music works for me. Into the head, out through the mouth. That's how I go. Okay, I will go check it out. Lorianne, I will go check out. Is that who said that? Yeah, I'll go check out the Metallica version. I actually didn't know there was a Metallica version. There's nothing new in the world anymore. It's all remakes. Now I'm shading these diamonds in the same way that I did my boxes, but I'm doing them, of course, on the diagonal. And here's my light source, remember. So I'm doing the sides away from that. This is probably the only video in the world that you will ever hear me say light source in, so mark it down. This is as far as I'm going to go into it. Meatloaf. You made me hungry too. Not cool. This is why Cindy shouldn't be in chat. She can't concentrate. And I know some of you agree. All I can tell you is that there will be videos again soon. I actually think I miss making them, just not so many. All right, let's get some shading done here and some erasing, apparently. All right. Now I'm going to take my indigo blue and I'm going to put a good, nice dark section right next to this line. And I'm really going to try not to get too much. Just put it right over your graphite. Oops. The fact that the graphite is there is a good thing. It's just going to enhance the depth of this. A lot of artists use indigo blues for shading because they are almost black, but the blue isn't quite so, you know, black. So now I'm going to go underneath here, but I'm not going to go as heavily, right? I'm just going to I'm going to lighten my pressure. So I'm barely stroking it in here. I want you to be able to see it, but I don't want it to be as pervasive, as thick as the other. The shading really makes this pop out, and even though I have made a really big, huge mess most of the time here, I think this is going to work well. All right, now for la tortillon. I don't know if it's a la or an air or whatever, but I'm going to use it. It's going to be a tortillon today. All right, so very gently in little circles, you're going to get in there, but try really hard not to get it up on your frame. And see how the little circles just sort of blend that out. It blends it with the graphite as well, makes it nice and smooth. I have really enjoyed incorporating these pastel pencils into my Zentangle art for the last 100 days. That has been a real joy. And so I really, if you are having thoughts about pastel pencils, I can definitely recommend these Generals versions. I know a lot of you guys have other kinds that you like, and I've had the Pit Pastels recommended from you guys, as well as the Othello. I can't say it. Othello. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm gonna quit trying. But there are some others that are recommended by others. Just be very careful with pastel pencils. If you get the wrong kind, you will be frustrated, and it's better to pay a little more and get a kind that you know is going to give you a good result than it is to buy the cheapest one. I have had some negative experiences with pastel pencils, and I will tell you that if you get the wrong kind, they don't work well, and there's almost no using them. At least the ones I have, I'm about ready to give away or throw out because I won't use them anymore. They're that bad. Okay, so now I'm going to blend out this side, and I'm going to, again, try to keep this as dark as possible, but in my little circles. I'm going to get in there where that line is and sort of draw that out. The circles keep it from being all streaky. Okay. And you can go to the outer edge and sort of soften that a little bit. Okay. All right. Looking good. Yeah. Yes, Generals pastel pencils. There's a link for them on my Amazon store, which is in the description of this video, and you can see what they are from there. In the U.S., I don't think there's anything better than these pencils. They don't have just a ton of colors, and you have to buy them in several packs to get them all, but they're not just horribly expensive. So, yeah, that's. But I have enjoyed using them a lot. They work really well on the Zentangle tiles, and they're fun to blend, and they make great backgrounds and or edging. Both of those things are made nice with these. So it's my 2 cents. Should have done this one second. I'm being very careful not to touch down over here. I should have done this one second instead of last. All right, now I'm going to see if I can draw out this little touch of blue that I got over here without getting on the other side, messing up my blend. All right. All right, now this one I gotta take out. I'm gonna put my General's white charcoal in here. Whoops, on these opposite sides. No, don't use that. It's full of blue. And I want any graphite that's left on those sections to be gone so it doesn't get muddy. All right, that's what's next. Oh, I forgot to add my shading on the inside of these. All right, so graphite pencil where I put my line weight. Having a nice result requires layers. You have to be willing to go back over and over it, making little changes, you know, cleaning things up, adding more shading, all of that kind of thing. Finishing touches are sometimes what makes a tile go from okay to wow. So don't stint on the finishing stuff. All right, I just had a pencil mark I wanted to take out. There it is. There. Okay. All right, now I'm going to blend this. Remember, these are the opposite sides to what we shaded outside, right? Did you guys understand the explanation? What there was of it for why that is? All right. Now, almost to the magic part. Although shading is pretty magical. Okay, so I got those blended. Make sure I don't have any more spots. And at the very end, I will bring an eraser in here, and any spots I have that are out of control, I will clean up. Now, the piece de résistance. That's my bad French accent. Sorry, guys. Sorry to Valerie and Gael and anyone else speaking French in chat. So I'm going to take my white charcoal pencil, also by Generals, and I'm going to try to neatly swipe in some white on these opposite little sections, little triangles. We're just going for the color difference here, for the light and dark. Oops, did I forget one? When I'm under this light, it's hard for me to tell. And you have to take your time. Be careful. Let's see if that's any different. Yeah, adds a little bit. Then I think I'm going to put just a little bit up here on this frame, right around the edge. I don't know if this will get me anywhere, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to do that. I'm going to have to do it. I'm going to leave that for now. Okay, I'm going to keep doing this. Angela Drummond, let's get you in the Facebook group and set up as moderator. So we've got somebody in a couple of time zones in there, yeah? Oops. And Nancy, we can go ahead and make Angela admin as well in there. I assume you can do that now that you're admin. Yes, yes, Angela, what? Yes, you're yelling. No, and I need to rewrite. Okay, quick. Okay, Polly has a question. All right, everybody give me a minute to look at chat here. Let's see what we got here. All right. Yes. All right. Cindy, Polly wants you to explain the shading. Oh, you mean why, Polly, do you mean why I shaded to one side or how I did that? Okay, let's do that. Let's do that. All right. So, here is my imaginary light source over here where I put this dot, okay? So if the sun is here and it's shining in this direction, right? Or the light source or whatever you've got, then the side opposite that light is going to be in shadow, right? So I put my darkest shadow here and my next to darkest shadow on the underneath side, right? On all of these. Now, if you've got a frame here and something is inside that frame, you're going to shade this the exact same way because the sun is not going to touch the inside of the frame right here, right? However, the sun will touch here on this side, okay? So what we end up doing then is inside the frame, we are shading the opposite two corners because if the sun is shining here, this is also in darkness, okay? So, so it ends up being strange because we are shading the outside of this on opposite sides and the inside of this on, you know what I mean. So did that help you at all with the explanation, Polly? Okay, great. Shading is a big mystery to me, so I understand why people are confused. Okay, where did I see a mistake? Not a mistake. No, we don't make those. Well, y'all might not make those. I do. And it's Sunday afternoon, usually nice and quiet, except for the barking. I took the kids out before we started today, and so hopefully they are all worn out. I hear snoring coming from River's chair over there. I have my desk in the way, and it's got a big shelf on top of it, so I can't see her. But she has given some big, long snores for me. She is doing great. Her mouth doesn't seem to be bothering her at all anymore. So we will just be careful what kind of chews we give her from now on. And keep her away from mean people. That's it. Well, we gotta go to obedience classes for sure. That'll be our next thing, as soon as I can work that out. All right, now, so I put a little bit over here on this side of my frame. I think I'm gonna go ahead and repeat that. And this will be on the same two sides as where I shaded on the other side of it, right? Here's where I shaded. Okay, so when I blend over that, that should work. And because this one is skinny, it's going to be of less value to me from a shading standpoint. Oops, I have to go over that line. Okay, yeah. Let me tap this off. Oh, I need a different blender, don't I? Might have to clean this. Might be one of those. be really gentle with this. I don't want a fuzzy end on my tortillon. But then Annie Oken has said, now if you rub your after you do this, if you rub the tip of your tortillon on wax paper, then it'll keep it from fuzzing out, which is a cool idea. So there you go. All right, now I can do this. Well, except for this one stray line, I didn't do too poorly. The other stray line I did, I don't see anymore. Oh, it's over here. So, yay. And I'm not particularly worried about that at all. Now, the only other thing that I can think of that I can do to make this a little bit more dynamic, and I actually, wow, this actually doesn't look bad. On mine, it's too close, but when I look on the phone one where I'm monitoring chat, that looks pretty good, and the frames are really popped out. On this one, the difference is, let me turn this the same way and zoom out a little bit here, if it'll let me. The difference is I went over my outer aura lines here with the PN and made them darker. So if you would like to do that, I also added on the diamonds a little bit of line weight. So those are something that you can do differently if you would like to. See, this goes like this. So this is my two different tiles, okay? I think this one's a little bluer than this one. But yeah, this is awesome. ACROSSTICK by Ed Gucker. And I think he was I think in the article it said he was a physicist or something. Anyway, he dealt with patterns a lot in his job. And so this is a cool one. This would make great tile, I think. Wouldn't it? Wouldn't it? All right, guys, I love you. This is where we're going to stop today. If you have not seen it, we have a new Facebook group. I'm going to try to add a link to the description of this video here in a minute. If I do not, then you can search us on Facebook, okay? And I am going to put a little spoiler in here just for my Zenders, okay? Hang on, I want to show you something. Okay, I'm going to go out of chat. Yeah, where's my stuff? Okay. Well, come on. So we were talking about the flex tangle, right? The other day. Where am I? Down here. Here we go. Here we go. This is a flex tangle. So I did paradox and a flower and Tripoli fill on there. Isn't that cool? Would you guys like to do that? Is that interesting? Something you'd be interested in doing? What I love about this is that it's something you can display like on a coffee table or an end table, and it would be really cool. So maybe we'll look at that. And I like to find things that we can actually display with our art on there. So I thought I would show you this. This is on my, if you want to get a better look at it, it's on my Instagram feed way down towards the bottom. So we will look at that next, okay? All right, guys, tomorrow is day 91. Wow. 9 more days. But as I have been telling you, we're going to have more than 9 days left, right? We're going to have lots and lots of days left this year. So don't be sad. We are going to get it done. It's nail time, isn't it? What color will she choose next? I don't know. All right, guys. Bonsoir. I love you. Je t'aime. Be good wherever you are in the world. And I am going to see you all tomorrow for day 91. See you then. What will she choose? Bye.